Hello friends, welcome to Accounts Made Easy. In today's class, we are going to discuss about cost sheet. The basic aim of doing this particular video is to give revision to the students who are writing SEM 5 under Osmania University. This particular topic I have decided to discuss because if cost sheet is done, this one part is enough to cover up complete unit 4 of cost accounting chapter, which is unit costing or output costing and job costing. The only thing you need to know is understand the cost sheet carefully. So let's learn, or maybe I should say revise cost sheet. Remember, cost sheet starts with three direct items: direct material consumed plus direct wages plus direct expenses. When these three items are added up, what we get is called as our prime cost. That's our first major head. Now, how do we calculate direct material consumed? I always advise my students, calculate direct material consumed as a working note, show it as a working note rather than doing it in your cost sheet itself. That would be a little smart job. So here I have made the calculation of direct material consumed as a working note. Okay, because if I don't do it here as a working note, that makes my cost sheet very lengthy and I might end up making some mistake, and same can happen with you people. So here direct material consumed is calculated as opening stock of raw materials, to which we will add our net purchases. Guys, the word net purchases means total purchase minus purchase returns. To this we will add our purchase expenses, that is any carriage inward or freight inward or any expense which is related to our purchase is added. From this total we will deduct our closing stock of raw material, and the answer that we get, that's our direct material consumed, which is posted in our cost sheet. That's the first item done. Now once we get our prime cost, to that we will add our factory overheads. Okay, in other words, any kind of an indirect material or indirect wages or indirect expenses. All indirect items are a part of our factory overheads. From this total we will deduct sale of scrap. Now please understand, sale of scrap is not a very common thing. It does not come in almost all problems. But in case if it is there, we need to remember that sale of scrap is to be deducted from factory overheads. Okay. Now this, if you can see, I have not written anything here. Normally this is called as gross works cost. But because we are doing our UG studies, we don't use this term. But for your reference, I am just showing you here. This is called gross works cost. Okay. Now this is only for your knowledge. I am again removing it. You don't need that. Now to this gross works cost, we will add our opening work in progress, and from that we will deduct our closing work in progress, so that what we get is our works cost or factory cost. Second major item. After this, what we do is we need to add our office and administrative expenses. Now office and administrative expenses are normally written on the debit side of profit and loss account. These are the expenses which are related to our office, like office salaries, printing, stationery, office rent. All these things will form a part of our administrative overheads or office and administrative overheads. So to our works cost, when we add our administrative overheads, what we get is our cost of production. Okay, this is the total cost of production that we have made till now. However, we need to understand that whatever we produce, not necessarily we sell it all. So therefore, to this cost of production, we will add the total cost of opening stock of finished goods, and we will deduct the total cost of closing stock of finished goods. So now what we get is called as cost of goods sold. This is our cost of goods sold. All right. So the total cost that we have incurred for manufacturing those units which we are selling or which we are able to sell off. To this, now just come up here. To this we will add our selling and distribution overheads, because we all understand that to sell goods we need to incur certain expenses. As soon as you add your selling or distribution expenses, what you get is called as your total cost. That's the final cost that the company incurs. The term used for total cost is called cost of sales. All right. Now, the last two items will never be given to us ready-made. They will give us information about sales, which we write here. And remember, in most of the cases, I repeat, in most of the cases, profit will be our balancing figure. Profit will be our balancing figure. That is sales minus cost of sales, we get our profit. That is one way how it happens. However, when we look at output costing, normally what they do is they tell us that profit is desired as so and so percentage. Now let's understand, they can give us in two ways. One, they can give us as a profit as a percentage on cost. Another, they can give us profit as a percentage on sales. Now this is where I want you people to be a little smart, okay, because this is something very important for us to understand, that profit can be given to us either as a percentage of cost or as a percentage of sales. If profit is given to us as a percentage of cost or given to us as a percentage of sales, what do we do? All right, if it is given to us as a percentage of cost, we will take our cost as 100. Now, you have total cost or cost of sales, you have this, and let's say they have given us 25% as the profit. Now remember what we have done in our school days, cross multiplication. Total cost multiply 25 divided by 100 and you will get the value of your profit. That is one way of doing it. All right, if I take an example, say my total cost is 1 lakh, right, and I have been given profit as a percentage of cost, then it becomes 1 lakh into 25 by 100 and I get my value of profit. I add my total cost and profit, obviously I get sales. Easy calculation. But sometimes very smartly they will say that profit is 25% on sales. Now you need to apply your mind. You need to take sales as 100, your profit is 25, and please understand we are doing work back, we are going from bottom to top, so your cost becomes 75, and this is where you will have to do cross multiplication like this. Now I am just taking this as the x value. This is how you will do cross multiplication. You will have this cost value always available with you. So cost into 75, 25 divided by 75. Now these are the two things that you people need to remember. It can either be given to us as a percentage on cost. If it is given as a percentage on cost, take the total cost as 100. If it is given as percentage on sales, then take total sales as 100. Okay, so this is about cost sheet. I hope you have all understood this. Last piece of information before we end this video, and that is, if we need per unit cost, let these two columns be as it is. Just add a third column here. We will just add a third column here and write here per unit cost. And how do we calculate it? It will be total amount, which we all understand is this column, divided by units. For each column you will do this amount divided by the number of units given to us, and we get our per unit cost. Okay, because a lot of cases in unit or output costing and job costing, you might need to calculate per unit cost. If required, this is the easiest way. All right, so this is all that I wanted to tell you people in our cost sheet chapter. I hope we have all understood this. All the best guys for your exam. Thank you.